Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. So today I'm going to be finally telling you guys the story of my crazy ex-roommate from my freshman year of college. I've been wanting to tell this story since forever. I've tried to film it several times, and it has not turned out well each time. So hopefully this turns out pretty good. But yeah, if you're interested in hearing my crazy ex-roommate and how she tried to poison me from my freshman year of college, please keep on watching, as well as don't forget to like this video, as well as subscribe to my channel down below. And if you are not, please stop right here. It's not worth your time and effort. So without further ado, let's get into the story time. This story first starts June or July of 2013, so practically 5 years ago. I just graduated high school. I'm getting ready to go to orientation and then go into the math and science camp that my school was holding, and I was invited to attend free of charge. My ex-roommate, let's call her Nicole. Nicole emails me at the beginning of July, mid-July, just introducing herself, saying, I'm so glad that you're going to be my roommate for the upcoming fall semester, because we're both incoming freshmen, and we're both randoms, by the way. And she was introducing herself, and I emailed her back introducing myself, where I'm from, a little bit about me, basic information that you kind of want to give to your roommate. So yeah, back and forth over like the next 2 weeks. So I think this is before I go to school for the math and science camp, and we're discussing like what our likes and dislikes are, favorite food, things like that, how we want the aesthetic of our room to be, if we're girly, if we're not, just basic things. We're just kind of planning how our room would be. We had agreed that one of us would bring a fan, because my school, I think 4 out of 14 of the dorms on campus offer air conditioning. The other ones don't. My building was the only one who did not have air conditioning, so we had to bring a fan. So she was going to bring this gigantic fan. I was going to bring the mini fridge to keep in our room, because having 2 pretty big mini fridges was going to take up a lot of space. So I was like, okay, you bring the fan, I'll bring the mini fridge. It's cool, it's fine. She's like, sweet, awesome. Go to school, do the orientation, do the math science camp, come home for 2 weeks to pack up all my stuff, and then I officially go to college. So for move-in day, it was my parents and my 2 brothers and my sister. So they all drove me up to school and helped me unload my stuff. My roommate got there before I did, so she was already moving into the room when we came upstairs and we checked in and everything. I introduced myself, I said hello, we hugged, her mom and her sister were with her. I hugged Nicole, I hugged her mom, and my parents and my siblings kind of helped me get settled in, make my bed, put my stuff away, things like that, things that you do when you're first moving into a dorm room. And then they leave and they go back to the hotel. Nicole and her mom and her sister are still there, so I go and show them around campus, because I already know my way around campus. The first 2 weeks were fine. She had classes in the morning. I had classes late morning, early afternoon, mid-afternoon. So that's how my classes were. So I was still running on high school time, so I would wake up at 6 a.m. I would shower, I would stretch, I would pray and meditate. I would just kind of surf the internet, chill, watch a couple YouTube videos, and that was my morning. If I had any assignments in that to finish up before class, I would do them. And yeah, so that's how my mornings would go before I had to go to class. And she hated getting up in the morning. She was not a morning person. So I would have to be like, hey Nicole, you have class in an hour. You need to wake up now if you still need to shower, because you still need to shower, and you want to go eat breakfast. So I suggest you wake up now, because she would always snooze her alarms and stuff, and she'd be like, okay, 15 more minutes. I was like, okay, 15 more minutes, I could do that, I'll wake you up in 15 minutes. She's like, okay, cool. Rolls over, goes back to sleep. 15 minutes later, Nicole, you need to get up. And she doesn't want to get up. And she's like, 10 more minutes, no, 15 more minutes. I'm like, that means you only have half an hour before you have to go to sleep. Go to class, not sleep. Would go back and forth until she had 2 minutes to get to class. 2 minutes. And then she would get upset with me as why didn't I wake her up. I tried to. She would just complain, roll over, and go back to sleep. The first 2 weeks were okay. At the end of the second week is where the problems started happening. This was on a Friday afternoon. I had only one class on Fridays for the fall semester, so I would go to class, come back, take a nap, and then get up and do whatever I needed to do. I was taking a nap in the room, and Nicole literally busts the door open, and she's with her friends. She made friends really quickly versus me. I was very shy when I went to college. I was very in my own space, in my own head, in my own shell. So it took me quite a while to make friends. Nicole was not like that. She was like friends left and right. The first day, friends. First day of stepping on the campus, she had friends. So they came in and they were talking mad loud, and she was talking crap about me. She started talking about my socioeconomic status. She was talking about how she wasn't expecting me to be a regular American black girl. I'm Nigerian American, first of all. Second of all, my parents immigrated here. Third of all, why would you expect me to be an international student when I told her that I was born here to Nigerian parents? I stated that when we started emailing back and forth. So she was talking other things that I don't want to talk about because they were very hurtful. And I was just like, okay, like I did nothing to you. Granted, I was very shy, I was very quiet, I was very to myself, and her friends could see that, and her friends were really nice to me because I was really nice to them. If they wanted to hang out in the room, I would let them hang out in the room. I'd be like, okay, if I'm coming back, I'm just coming to grab some things and then leaving. But yeah, that's if I come back. I'm not staying for long because I want you guys to have your privacy. And her friends were like, you're so nice, you're so cool. I had mad snacks in my room. If I would give them snacks. If she wasn't in the room, if Nicole wasn't in the room and they stopped by, I'm like, I'll let Nicole know that you were here. If not, oh, she's gonna be here in a couple minutes. Just stay. I fed them, I hung up with them, I laughed with them. So it was like, I was nice to them. I was nice to her friends. But yeah. So Nicole was just spreading stuff, and I called her out on it, and she apologized. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, because when she came into the room talking to Mac, she had woken me up, and I had heard her. I just didn't move and say anything, and I called her out later. I accepted her apology. She told me she was never going to do it again. 2 days later, so Sunday, so we're going into week 3 at this point. Sunday's fine. I go to church, I come back, I finish up any homework that I have, and I'm just chilling in my room. I take a nap, I wake up, I go to dinner, and then my building, we have an international studies program, so international students can live there, and anyone can live there. You just have to do 10 hours of community service and 6 international studies programs or events, and we have an all-hall meeting to discuss the course requirements and things like that, syllabus, blah blah blah. I start getting this massive headache, and I took some Tylenol and ibuprofen because I always carry it in my purse or my book bag. I always carry Tylenol and ibuprofen with me, so I take 2 of each, and I had water with me, thank goodness, and the pain subsides a little bit. The meeting is only like an hour and a half long, but by the time the meeting is over, my head is like pounding. So We walk back from the lecture hall, the entire building, and I go back up to my room. Nicole is nowhere to be found at this point, and I pull down the blinds, I turn off all the lights, and I'm literally just sitting in darkness. My body is on hyperdrive. My body is so hypersensitive. Any light hurt my eyes. Any sound felt like it was screaming. Like whispering sounded like screaming. Just clapping, it felt like someone smashed my head. I got like smashed by a truck. Like the sound, my body was hypersensitive, so just touching my skin, just gently, just going like this, hurt so bad. My friend Della, I called her because she lives next door to me, and she and her roommate were in their room just chilling, hanging out. And I call her crying. I'm like, Della, my body hurts so bad, okay? Like, it hurts so bad. And she's like, where's Nicole? And I said, I can't find her anywhere. I'm like, can you go get a GRM? So a GRM is a graduate resident mentor. They're sort of like RAs, but they're graduate students, and they grade our coursework for the International Studies program. And they have other responsibilities in the building as well. So she goes to get the GRM on call, let's call him Liam, as well as another GRM, let's call her Wendy. Della comes with Liam and Wendy, and her roommate's there too. And with them are UP and SAVAC. So SAVAC is like the student ambulance thing on campus. It's student run like ambulance thing, and takes you to the hospital, things like that. And so I have to go to the hospital at this point, and I'm taken to the hospital. Nicole's nowhere to be found, so I'm escorted downstairs. Della and her roommate have my phone. I trying to call my mom. My mom's trying to call my phone. My mom's trying to call the hospital that I'm in, trying to call SAVAC and everything, and it's just a whole mess. I was diagnosed with having a panic attack migraine situation, and I was just like, why would I have a panic attack? I'm doing fine. I'm not panicking at all. I was perfectly fine. My body just hurts, and my family doesn't have a history of migraines. I've never had a migraine headache before. I usually get tension headaches when like I'm stressed out, like that's just me, or I'm sick. That's just me. I've never gotten a migraine headache ever in my life. I get discharged, but I'm stuck in the waiting room. And granted, I didn't have my phone, so I couldn't call anybody to come pick me up. I didn't know anybody with a car on campus who could come pick me up. So the people at the desk at the emergency room, they gave me a taxi voucher to call a taxi. It was prepaid and everything. The taxis were closed, so I was literally stranded in the ER until 3:30 in the morning. The only way I got out of the ER was the male nurse who attended to me in the ER. He called his girlfriend to come and get me and bring me back to campus. So I would not be here today if it wasn't for him. And if you're watching this, sir, God bless you, because I wouldn't be here today without you. I get back to my room at 4 a.m. Nicole is sound asleep in her bed. And I was like, this girl was nowhere to be found. And like her friends were worried about me because they saw me being carried out on a stretcher. My friends were like freaking out. My friend Della and her roommate were freaking out. Like the desk staff was freaking out because I was starting to get to know the desk staff, and they were genuinely worried about me because like I would always bring them snacks if they were working graveyard shift. I would always talk to them and get to know them. So they were freaking out, and everyone's like, where's Nicole? Where's her roommate? And no one could find her anywhere. And then when I come back, she's literally up in the bed. But Nicole didn't care where I was. She didn't care for my well-being. She didn't even ask questions. So that was the first incident. And I have a suspicion to this day she possibly put something in my food and I didn't know it. Because in my food, in my room, I had food that my mom would make, because my mom would bring me food every other week when she would come and check in on me. So I think she like put something in my food. I'm not sure to this day, but I have this suspicion that she did. Into week 3, this is I think Wednesday. Me and Della come back from class, because we had class in the same building, and we walked back to our room so we can put our stuff down and go get lunch. So since Della's room was right next to me, closest to the elevators, we went to her room first. So she dropped off her stuff, and then we went to my room to drop off my stuff. So I put in my door code and opened the door. Nicole is standing at my desk with an unmarked white packet of something, and she's pouring it in my unopened bottle of Sprite that I had from the previous night. I asked, Nicole, what are you doing? And she was just like, nothing, I wasn't doing anything. And she runs out of the room with the white packet. And I'm just like, what the heck? So I take it downstairs to my hall director. Della was just completely dumbfounded because she wasn't expecting to walk in on that. I take it to the hall director. Let's name her Catherine. So Catherine is in her office. She's doing stuff, and me and Della walk in, and I said, Catherine, I need to talk to you with Della because she's a key witness in this. And she goes, what happened? I said, Della and we walked in on Nicole pouring something into this bottle of Sprite. It was unopened when I had it on my desk. She was pouring something in it. And she's like, how are you sure? I'm like, I have a witness right here. And she asked Della, did she pour something in her drink? And Della was like, yeah. We just walked into it. We were getting ready to go to lunch. We just wanted to put our stuff in our rooms first. We didn't want to take our backpacks into the dining hall. She's just like, okay, I'll report it to UP. She never reported it to UP. Everybody hated her, this woman. She was literally a witch. I go to UP after we go eat, and I take it to UP, and I said, my roommate tried to put something in my drink. I brought the bottle here so you can test it. They took the bottle from me. I never got anything back. And I also reported it to Res Life, and I requested to be removed from the room and moved to a different room. My request was denied because Nicole said our relationship was fine. This is when I realized this girl is crazy. She started doing really weird things where when I would be asleep, she hated it when I would be asleep napping in the room. She hated it. And apparently, according to her ex-friends, they're her ex-friends now, she was breaking into their rooms to take a nap while they were not there, because she didn't like me being in the room napping. She broke the locks to their room because she did not like me napping in our room, in my bed, so she felt like she had to go other places to sleep. And it really pissed me off because, number one, that's invasion of privacy to other people. Number two, you can always ask me if you want the room. Like, it's fine. Like, I would always ask, do you need the room? Do you need the room? She would be like, nah, I'm cool, I'm fine, I'm cool. And I was just like, okay, Nicole, just let me know if you need it. And she was a white girl from Hicktown, 2 hours away from school. I live in a more diverse area, a larger area that's more diverse, but she was causing me problems, so that was she tried to poison me story. Thank goodness I didn't drink it. But this story still could continue. She was still making microaggressions toward me. She's still talking smack. The second and third times I caught her talking smack, I called her out of it, and then she started yelling at me because I called her out. And her friends were calling her out on her BS too. And they were coming and telling me everything that she was saying about me. I thought we were cool. You have a problem with me? Just tell me. And we had a roommate agreement. We had a really specific roommate agreement that, like, I like to go to sleep at this time. If you don't like to go to sleep at this time, please be mindful of me and my schedule and how I do things. I'll be mindful of you. I'll be respectful of you. I was very respectful to this girl. This girl broke every single thing in the roommate agreement. Within the first like month and a half of the semester, she broke everything. And it really pissed me off because I got RGRM on our floor involved, and she's like, well, I can't do anything about it. I'm like, that's your job. You're supposed to do something about it. So she wasn't doing anything about it. At this point, I reported it again to Catherine, the hall director, that I would like to be moved, as well as Res Life, that I wanted to be moved. The DAs were actually putting in requests for me to be moved. My advisor put in requests for me to be moved, but they didn't want to listen to her because she wasn't on the residential part of campus, of administration. So her hands were tied. God bless you to my advisor. I'm pretty sure she watches my channel. Hello. But her hands were practically tied, and she tried everything for me. Like, I would tell her like how miserable I was, and she could see how miserable I was, even though I tried to come into her office with a smile on my face every time, because she genuinely tried to help me. Go home for winter break, and I was like, thank the Lord I don't have to deal with this girl for winter break, because if I have to, I will rip my hair out. Come back from winter break and we're back on campus. Schedule is completely different now. I have class in the early morning and late afternoon. Plus I'm also taking a studio art class, so a lot of my time is going to be spent outside the room. So I wasn't in the room as much as I was fall semester. I was out because I was in the studio working on my projects for my Ceramics 1 art class, and that requires a lot of out of class time. Several times when I came back, I found people sleeping in my bed. I had people sleeping in my bed. I also had like nail polishes. Like, before I did makeup, I actually was a nail blogger on my super duper old Instagram account that no longer exists. But I used to be a nail blogger, so I had a ton of nail polish, and I had a basket of nail polishes on my desk, as well as the ones that I had just gotten, and they would be sitting on my desk directly, not in the basket. So she would take my brand new polishes without permission. She would take my makeup without permission. That's before now. I just had a little makeup bag and things that I used and a little bit extras. But she would take my makeup without my permission, take my nail polishes without my permission, take my clothes without my permission, and stretch them out. She also had beer in my fridge. I brought the fridge, but she brought beer in the fridge, and both of us were underage. And if a RGRM came into the room and they found the beer in the room, we would both get written up. I was not trying to be written up. I was not trying to be on disciplinary probation, okay? Would keep old grape juice and apple juice, so they would ferment in the fridge. That was disgusting. It started growing mold in them. It was just nasty. And what I would tell her, please do not bring alcohol into this room, because at the time, the smell of alcohol, I get sick from it. Like, I would physically get sick from it. Like, I would feel like I have to throw up. And I told her not to bring beer or anything back to the room. Please don't do that. Like, I will revoke your rights to have you use my fridge. You won't be able to use it anymore. I'll change the roommate agreement. Like, please don't. She started flipping out on me because of that. All those things, she would flip out on me. And then this girl started writing things on a mirror on sticky notes. She would post sticky notes about how she wanted to be thin, how she wanted to lose weight. She would always be measuring her bust, her waist, her hips, thinking she was losing weight. She was going to the gym 3 times a day. 3 times a day, yet she wasn't going to class. So she ended up, for the first semester, she ended up failing 2 classes. For the spring semester, she ended up failing 3 classes. She was so adamant about losing weight. All the emotional abuse and trauma she's put me through. I'm stress eating. I gained 30 pounds. 30 pounds in the first month and a half of school. And I'm still carrying those 30 pounds today. I have not been able to lose said 30 pounds because I was emotionally eating, I was stress eating, and I cried practically every single day because of this girl. She would start snapping at me for the stupidest things. I'd be like, hey, I like the window blind down because the room gets hot, and when the sun is coming in, the room gets really, really hot. And she told me I can't touch her fan because I didn't let her use the fridge. Did I break her fan? No. Was I doing illegal activities with her fan? No. I removed her from using the fridge because she was putting alcohol and illegal drinks and stuff like that in the fridge. Like, we were not allowed to. We were minors. So I told her, but she would get mad at me a lot. And then she asked me if she can change the room up. I said, sure. So she reconfigured the room so our room would kind of be more open concept and look bigger. She was taking up 80% of the room, so I was living on 20%. My stuff was literally squished into a corner and she took over the room. And I asked her, hey, could you move your stuff back, because I don't like living on like 15-20% of the room when you have 80% of the room. I would really appreciate it if you could move your stuff back because you're taking up my stuff, my space too. And she got so angry with me. She also gave our room code out to so many people. One time, I was hanging out with her friend. She was nowhere to be found as per usual. She never responded to texts. I was hanging out with her friends. We were watching a movie in the lounge. And so she comes, and I was actually wanted to get up and take a shower. So I told everybody, hey, I'll be right back. I just want to go take a shower. And they're just like, okay, cool. So I go to take a shower. Realized after I get undressed and I'm getting ready to step in the shower, I have my soap, but I don't have my loofah. So I walked all the way to my room and to go get my loofah. So I went to go grab my loofah, and one of her guy friends, let's call him Brock, he unlocked the door while I was standing in my towel, and he just stood there. I start screaming bloody murder, and he says, this is the first time I've ever been this close to a woman's naked body before. I was just screaming, and I start freaking out at Nicole, saying, I can't believe you gave him our room code. I can't believe you gave everybody else our room code. You're gonna have to pay $20 to change it, and I don't want him coming back here again. She starts freaking out at me, saying, who are you to tell me I can't give out the room code? I'm like, Res Life said we can't. Like, unless the other person is okay with it. I was not made aware of it until he walked in. I said, you're gonna pay the $20 to have it changed. And she flipped on me. She said, if you want it changed, you're gonna have to pay the $20. I didn't have to pay the $20. Praise the Lord, she had to pay the $20. But yeah, so that was a really bad incident. I reported her. They did not do anything. Res Life does not do jack squat for students. I also went to the dean of students. I kept requesting to be moved out of that room, and they refused to move me. They refused to move me. The DAs were putting in so many complaints of mine, and they started putting some of them themselves. And I had to apologize to them continuously, say, guys, I'm so sorry. I never meant to overburden you with paperwork. This school is crazy. They're not doing anything at Res Life, and they were getting really frustrated, and I was getting really frustrated. Another incident that had happened was one of her friends. She wasn't my friend at the time, but now we are friends. The girl that I'm gonna mention in this little mini story. So it was either Tuesday or Thursday, and I had a paper due in the morning for my English class, as well as like a mini presentation on a book we read. We had to choose a book and read it. It was on approved list by my professor. We had to read it, do a paper, and a mini presentation on it, like themes, main points, things like that. And I texted Nicole, hey, because she wasn't in the room, and it was like maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I was just like, hey, when you get back, I don't know when you're getting back, but I'm going to sleep now because I have a presentation in the morning, also with a paper due. It's really important because this class was at 8 a.m. Can you just please be quiet when I come back, when you come in? I'd really, really appreciate it. Nicole comes in about an hour and a half later, so this was 1 in the morning, and she comes in with her friend. Let's call her Leslie. She knows who she is. She knows who she is, but let's call her Leslie. We're great friends now. Like, She is such a cool person, but at that time we were not on good terms. But we weren't on good terms because of the stuff that Nicole would tell her about me that was completely untrue. But they came into the room. Nicole turned on all the lights. So that meant the door light on the inside of the door. When you walk in, there's a light switch, and there's a light switch above, a light above the door. And then my desk light, my lamp, her desk light, and all her other little lights. She turned on everything. And when she opened the door too, she slammed it open. So that woke me up. And then for the next 4.5 hours, so 1 o'clock to 5:30 in the morning, they decided to have a powwow and talk crap about me in the room while I'm there trying to sleep, because I have to wake up at 6 a.m. to get ready and have breakfast and get all my stuff sorted and fit and stuff for my presentation at 8 a.m. And they started talking about my hair, how they didn't like it, my appearance, how they didn't like it. And I voice recorded the entire thing. I voice recorded it and I confronted her, and Nicole got so upset because she's like, that's illegal to voice record me. I'm like, then you shouldn't have been talking crap about me. And before I had confronted her about it, I had taken it to Catherine and Res Life and told them, hey, I would like to be moved to a different room. She's talking crap about me. One of your hall council e-board members is also on this recording. Leslie is on this recording. So, what are you going to do about it? I would like to be moved, please. They still denied my request. Time I came back from our room, from the bathroom, and of course, like when you come back from the bathroom, you like your loofah's still kind of dripping soap because you probably didn't rinse it really well. And I'm thinking, okay, my loofah did probably drip soap on her toothbrush. It wasn't intentional. It really wasn't. And after I came back from the bathroom after my shower, she went to go brush her teeth. She came back screaming like a banshee, telling me, you tried to poison me. I'm like, what? I put my pajamas on. I'm trying to put lotion on my legs at this point. And she's like, you can't believe you're trying to poison me. I'm going to report you. I'm going to get you expelled. What? What are you talking about? She's like, when I went to go put my, brush my teeth, and I put my toothbrush in the water, it was sudsing up like there was soap on it. You tried to poison me. I'm like, Nicole, you don't like me. I don't like you. And you know I don't like you. You know I really don't like you. But I am not that petty to try to poison you, to try to mess with your health. I'm not that petty. And if I was that petty, that's not the way I would go about doing things. When it comes to being petty, I am not the type of person to physically hurt that person or make threats. I am that type of person who will just tell people who are particularly close to that person, this is how I was, and I can still be that way when I get really angry or someone has really pissed me off. I will tell people to watch out for this person. This person is not to be trusted. They did X, Y, Z to me. Don't trust them. They're literally insane. They're not well. By the time I was telling people, they had already begun to shift their attitudes towards her. They didn't like her. They didn't love her. She was fighting with other people, but I had it the worst. And so she threatened to fight me over that incident. She called her mom to come and fight me, and her mom actually came to fight me twice. And they literally cornered me in the room and blocked the door. And I started freaking out. And I was telling my parents as these things were happening, my dad's like, okay, if she puts her hands on you, call me. Just be careful of her, be careful. Try to get away from her as much as possible. And she's like, make sure you're reporting it to people. I'm like, I'm reporting it, they're not doing anything. So my parents are just like, if she tries something again, we're going to take the school to court, because they're not listening to you, and they're not listening to everybody who's trying to help you. When her mom came to fight me the second time, I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, she brought her mom here to come and fight me. And my dad literally was just like, okay, this was like on a Wednesday or Thursday. Her mom left work in the middle of the day. In the middle of the day. to come and fight me, an 18-year-old girl at the time. And I was just like, why are you here? All I've been is nice to you and your daughter. That's all I've been. I've been kind this entire time, and I'm surprised I didn't even manage to snap on her. But I was like, all I've been is kind to your daughter. What did I do? I'm not fighting you. I'm not fighting her. And my dad was just like, I'm coming up on Saturday. Make sure she's there. I need to talk to this girl. And I was like, okay. So my dad comes, and he's just like, if you threaten her again, I will make sure you will not be able to get into any school in the state. Any school in the state, your academic career will be over before you know it. So, and he's just like, also, I will sue you for like, my dad was dead serious about like defamation and slander, what she was doing, but I was like, Dad, let's not do it, because court cases take a long time. It can take years. So I was not trying to have it. I was not trying to be physically drained out about it and having to go back and forth with her in the school, and it's just a lot. Parents were telling the way she's acting this way, this is not normal. This is really not normal. And I was just like, I don't know what's up. And my dad had a feeling it was just jealousy. One day, I was in the room, I was minding my own business. She comes in, and she literally, like, in front of her mirror, like measuring herself, pinching her belly fat, complaining how fat she is. And I literally turned to her, and I said, Nicole, why do you hate me so much? All I've been is nice to you. I said, what did I ever do to you to make you hate me or dislike me so much? Because all I've been is nice to you. And she said, ever since the day I met you, I've just been jealous of you. Because you're skinny, you're pretty, you have money, you can do whatever you want. You have a great relationship with your family, your siblings. You have it all. I don't have that. And I told this girl, honestly, what you see is not the reality. Like, what you necessarily assume is not the reality. Every family has problems. My family, we have problems. Just a lot of things goes on behind the scenes that you don't see. I'm skinny, and also I dealt with a lot of self-esteem issues when I was in high school. And it's just like I was getting over it at that point in time, my freshman year of college. I was getting over having self-esteem issues. So, and I was still shy, so that also affected that. And I told her, it's just like, I'm very shy, like I was very shy, but I know when to speak up and defend myself. I gained 30 pounds from your abuse. I straight up told her, I'm like, you have been very verbally, emotionally, and psychologically abusive towards me this entire year. This entire year. And you know I've put in requests to be removed from this room and moved to a different room because of that. If you were really jealous, you just should have told me. Because I understand being jealous of someone because you think they have the entire world and you have nothing. I understand that because I have dealt with it before. Found out certain things, why she was acting certain ways, because she had depression, she also had bipolar disorder, and she was also on suicide watch for the second semester. She was on suicide watch. Imagine if I came back from class and she was lying dead on the floor. I would get an automatic 4.0 because that's like standard across the state. If your roommate dies or something happens and you're traumatized, you get a 4.0 for the semester. But imagine if I came back to the room and she was dead on the floor or hanging from her closet. You're going to fully investigate me just because of my skin, because she's white and I'm black. And I was like, all I did was just mind my business and be nice, just be a good roommate. That was just my intentions, just to be a good roommate to this girl. And it didn't end well. From the end of the semester, she wanted me to be her roommate for second year, sophomore year. And she asked me, do you want to be my roommate for second year? And I literally just started laughing, and her mom's just like, you're being serious, why is she laughing? And I literally walked up to her and I said, hell no. I refuse to be your roommate again, because I straight up told her, I'm like, I know you're trying to get better, and that's good, but you're just so toxic. You are so toxic to people, and that's why a lot of people don't like you anymore. You're just toxic and you're rude, and you'd like to belittle people just to make yourself feel good, and it's not cool. She's just like, fair enough, I understand. And her mom was just like, yeah, you have a lot of work to do. Granted, this lady is finally on my side after trying to fight me twice. A little bit before then, she had asked my friend, let's call her Khadijah. She had asked Khadijah to be her roommate, and Khadijah accepted, and I said, Khadijah, I don't think that's the best thing for you to do. You should just stay with Michael. You guys get a room together. And she's just like, nah, Nicole asked me to be her roommate, and I said yes. I'm just like, just let you know, like, you're gonna hate living with Nicole. You're gonna regret it. I'm telling you, as her roommate, who's not gonna be her roommate much longer, you're not gonna like it. And believe me, come the fall, I have a brand new roommate. She's great, amazing. We get each other, we vibe with each other. And then Khadijah and Nicole are roommates, and Khadijah comes to me and says, yo, you were right about Nicole. She blasts music all the time. She always leaves the lights on all the time. She's mad loud and everything. And by the time all her friends had turned against her and was just like, no, you're toxic, just being me, because I wasn't trying to be petty or anything, I was just like, why don't you guys just convince her to just transfer out? Because you're saying that she's unhappy, and y'all don't like her anyways, and I don't like her anyways, and I don't like seeing her everywhere because it just brings up really painful memories. So just get her to transfer out. So what did they do? They got her to transfer out after first semester of sophomore year, and then I never had to see her face again, I think. No, I ran into her somewhere else at like a conference or something, and she like tried to hug me, and it didn't work out. But so there you have it, guys. That's the story of my crazy ex-roommate from freshman year and how she tried to poison and fight me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down below if you had a really bad roommate, or you have a friend who had a really bad roommate, whether it be college, boarding school. Please let me know. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel down below if you want to see any new uploads from me. Tap the notification bell. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you on my next video. Bye, guys.